Hey guys!
Howdy!
What's up and welcome back or to the Roomies Digest. My name is Christine.
I'm Mo.
And today we're doing our September TBR.
I cannot believe it's September.
Me saying September like that really gave me pirate vibes, like September.
Yeah.
TBR.
Oh, is it a pineapple
Under the tree.
Under a tree. I said under a tree.
Sun Bob.
Anyway, let's not. But
Shiver me timbers.
we're doing our TBR. As you can expect, I will be doing the mood reading of the group, of the duo. So
Ebony and Ivory, you know?
pretty much.
Yin and yang.
Like, if I feel
Mood
it.
reading and strict TBR. I'm gonna let it go. Bum, bum, da 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 da, bum, bum, da. So let's run through it, guys. So as far as book clubs go, if you guys don't know, I am part of a book club called Fantaseries, where we read a fantasy series and then talk about it. Usually we pick books that are kind of 50-50 on the love to hate ratio. So the first book that we read last month was We Hunt the Flame, and of course the second book in this series is We Free the Stars. What a chunky baby. I'm having fun. I'm really excited. It basically just follows our main characters as they go on from the first book. I don't want to get too far into it, but it's a fantasy. Of course, it's Mina inspired. It's got, you know, monsters, magic, all this kind of fun stuff. And I really liked We Hunt the Flame. Like, I had a really good time with it. So I'm expecting nothing but good things from this one, because I've heard that this one is much, much better than the first one. So that's that one. And then there is a Lunar Along, which is basically just reading the books from the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Mayer. So I'm going to be participating in that, as well as doing like a sci-fi September reading vlog. So the first two books that I'm going to be reading for the Lunar Along, because I missed half of the first part of it because I joined late. So I'm going to be reading Cinder, which is the first book in the Lunar Chronicles, as well as Scarlet. These books follow basically retellings of different fairy tales as they're set in like a sci-fi setting. And all of the books are set in the same world. So it's basically just like going through the whole series. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. I have heard nothing but good things about this YA sci-fi series. So I'm ready to start. I'm ready to start it. And then the other book that I'm going to be reading for the Sci-Fi September reading vlog is called The First Sister. I talked about this briefly in our bookish haul that we just did, which I'll link up in the cards if you guys want to watch that. But The First Sister is basically like a sci-fi space opera. It follows 3 points of views. One person's an assassin thief, I think. One person is like a monk, and one person is maybe like an ex-commander or something, a drunkard, I think.
Drunkard.
I think is their deal. So anyway, I'm not really sure like what happens, but we know there's gonna be a lot of drama, a lot of like craziness, and like, look at that cover. I say it every time, but like, she's beauty, she's grace, she's everything.
United States.
And then the third book that I'm gonna be reading for this sci-fi reading vlog is Gear Breakers. Okay, sorry. I'm so excited.
It looks so good.
So last month I read a couple of like mech sci-fis where like there were machines in the sci-fis, and I was kind of disappointed. If you want more information on that, I actually have our Netgalley reading vlog out now, so you can click that up in the cards and see how I felt about that, because they were 2 Netgalley books and I was just kind of like, y'all really are not doing it for me. Like, I really just wanted a little bit more from it, like more centered around the machines. So I think Gear Breakers is gonna do it for me. I'm so excited. Like, first of all, the cover. I know that you can see the 2 girls, but in the background, there is a machine. There is a literal machine. Like, it just looks so good. I'm really excited because the second one is coming out, I think, at the end of this year. So, like, I'm catching up with this series. Actually, I think it's next year. I'm not sure. It's coming out soon, but I know that the cover was announced, and so everybody's really excited, and I'm like, I can't wait. I also have a good recommendation from Erik from Break Even Books that this is such a good book. So that's my sci-fi guy. So I trust what he says, okay? I think it's gonna be great, but I just wanna read the like little insert really quick. We went past praying to deities and started to build them instead. That's the machines. The shadow of Godolia's tyrannical rule is spreading, aided by their giant mechanized weapons known as wind-ups. War and oppression are everyday constants for the people of the Badlands who live under the thumb of their cruel Godolia overlords. Eris Shindanai is a gear breaker, a brash young rebel who specializes in taking down wind-ups from the inside. When one of her missions goes awry, she finds herself in a Godolia prison. Eris meets Sonia Steelcrest, a cybernetically enhanced wind-up pilot, and at first Eris sees Sonia as her mortal enemy. But she soon discovers that Sonia has a secret. She has intentionally infiltrated the wind-up pilot program in order to destroy Godolia from within. As the clock ticks closer towards the deadliest mission yet, a direct attack to end Godolia's reign once and for all, Eris and Sonia grow closer as well as comrades, friends, and perhaps something more. Okay, so I think it's like a sci-fi, but also I think it's got a sapphic romance in there. I don't know, I feel like this is gonna be exactly what I wanted from last month's like sci-fi reading, so I'm just so excited. And like, I love a pilot, like I love a like mechanized weapon, like I just love that kind of trope, that kind of like sci-fi trope, so I'm excited. Okay, I'm gonna let you talk now.
Well, I'm also going to be doing Sci-Fi September. I don't really know all the sci-fis I'm gonna try and read, but I know for a fact that I'm gonna do Sleeping Giants. I bought this a couple months ago, probably a month ago, weeks. What is time? I'm really excited to jump into this. Apparently, I have to listen to this on audiobook from Rachel, and I think Noelle has also said the audiobook was spectacular. So I will be giving it a go on the audiobook, but I'm excited because I think there's like a mystery. I think it's all about a bizarre mystery that something happens, and I think there's like a scientist that has to figure out
what's going on,
like how to crack a code or something. Like there's like puzzles, and I'm like, yes. And there's also a hottie that someone like Rachel likes. So I'm like wanting to see if I feel the same way.
Thinner than I thought it would be.
I know, it's a great sign. I love a nice condensed read and sci-fi. That means they really thought, if it's 5 stars and they really thought out what they wanted to put in the book, that means
every page matters.
Every page matters. Like, it's not extra 5,000 pages to build something. It's all here. So yes, I'm gonna be reading Sleeping Giants.
Quick and concise.
If you guys have any other ideas for me for sci-fi, I think I'll probably try to finish Acceptance. But again, I'm doing the mood reading this month. Okay, I'm really leaning into that. But I definitely want to try and get.
Which is great because mood reading is also a valid form of reading.
It's the way of, it is me.
Yeah.
It is how I am.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so the next book that I'm going to be reading next month is Spectrum Women. I had planned to read this last month, so I just kind of like stuck it onto this TBR. I'm really excited because I believe this is just different accounts of women on the spectrum. So I am just wanting to learn more about that. And yeah, I'm hoping that this kind of gives me a little more clarity on the subject.
This looks good. I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, it's such a cute cover. I love it. And then the next book that I'm going to be reading that comes out next month is Beasts of Prey. I'm so excited. We got this arc a couple months ago, but I kind of wanted to wait until it was like, you know, about to come out so that I could really get on the train of hype. But essentially what I know is that there is like a magical forest. There's a girl, there's a guy, and they go into the forest to like go on like a quest, a mission, something. Yeah, they're trying to like save their like community, but also I think it's hate to love. I believe it's a hate to love in this fantasy because I think they want the same thing, but you know, only one of them can have it. I believe that's what it is. It's been compared to The Cruel Prince, so that's really just giving me like hate to love vibes. You know what I mean? Like real hate to love vibes. So I'll be able to report back on that after reading this, but I'm really excited. I believe this comes out September 28th, so I have plenty of time to read it before it comes out. But I'm really excited. Look how cute the cover is.
It looks so good.
It's so cute. And then per usual, of course, we're going to be having a book of the month reading vlog. So I've got a couple of books from book of the month that I'm going to be reading this month. First one I want to talk about is Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. I believe this is like a cute little romance, but in reality, like the main character doesn't want to be in a relationship because she's afraid of what will happen when like feelings occur. But I think it's gonna be super cute. Like, look at them. They really just look so happy. And I've really been wanting to read like a light and fluffy book of the month romance. So hopefully that's what this is and it doesn't end tragically, because if it does, I picked the wrong book. So
going off the romance, I'm doing a highly recommended read through the household and online, and I'm going to be reading The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. I'm very excited. Yes, I saw some fan art on Miss Helen's Instagram.
I know, I ordered it.
And I saw the tatted sleeves.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't know that's what he was looking like.
He is so fine.
That's what we were working with. I was like, wait, hold on, the buzz cut. So I am excited to read this, obviously not for Quan only, but because of the plot. Definitely for the plot, which is about Anna's son, who's like a violinist, and she's taking care of her family, figuring out her life, and finding love with a hottie along the way. So, highly recommended. I'm excited to learn more about her life and how they fall in love.
Yes, we stand this series on this channel.
Yeah, I skipped the bride test. Sorry.
Which you should go back and read. It's my favorite
but this
one.
is like from a separate series, just the same author, right? They're all standalone.
No, they're all in the same world. They're all cousins. All the guys. That's why I was like, you need to read them.
Be quiet. It's related to the dude from
that's his cousin. Yeah, that's Michael's cousin. And Kai is Quan's brother. So obviously it's Michael's cousin too.
Is Quan the one that works at the gym?
He was the one at the gym. They go to the gym and he teaches kids.
He ends up working at that one place. I don't want to say for a spoiler effect.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Because you didn't read the second one yet. Anyway, we stand this series on this channel. I'm super excited for you to read this book. I have heard, besides me, obviously, a lot of people have been saying that they love it, but they're also crying. So I'm like, maybe your little cold heart will...
This is my type of romance.
Yeah, because, it's I would say it's not even heavy romance. I would say it's more about Anna's journey, but...
I think that's what I like. I like beach read.
It's going to be great. Anyway, okay, so then I am going to be reading Sky Falling by Mia McKenzie. This is basically about our main character, Sky, who has been a loner pretty much all throughout life until one day her daughter, through I think she was a donated egg. So that's the kind of situation, shows up on her door and Sky's like, what do I do with a 12-year-old? So this is a story all about family, and this is the little blurb that it says: a probing examination of the complexities of family, queerness, race, and community. A woman who's used to going solo discovers that there's one relationship she can't run away from. Because I do believe that Sky is queer, and I'm just so excited because I love a found family, but I really love when a family comes together in an unconventional way. So I'm really excited to hear the story and be like, what happens? Why are you a 12-year-old alone? Anyway.
And then another book of the month I'm gonna try and get to is called The Last Thing He Told Me. I wouldn't say told her, but and it's kind of like a mystery thriller, and apparently this main guy, his name's Owen, he disappears, but he leaves a note for his wife. It just says the words protect her. And so I think it took some figuring out, but it comes out that she's talking about his 6-year-old daughter whose wife or mother had passed away. So current widow is just trying to figure out the whole
what's happening
tea with that. So I'm excited to read this.
It's very interesting because in this book, obviously the young girl doesn't like the stepmom. It's typical, she's 16, and she's like, no one's gonna ever replace my mom, but they have to come together to figure out what happened to the dad, essentially,
because he disappears.
So that was a really cool theme throughout the book. And then the last book of the month that I'm gonna be reading is Not a Happy Family by Shuri LaPena. This basically is about this family, this well-off family, and one night they're at dinner and the mom and dad get murdered in front of their 3 children. Okay, and so, everyone's like, oh my god, that must have been horrible, you guys went through so much, and the children are like, did we though? So it's kind of like a mystery, kind of like a thriller, kind of like what even happened. It reminds me of that one
Riverdale.
I was gonna say that one movie where the family goes to dinner.
I get what you're saying. The wedding one.
Yeah, where the family is deep into some stuff and you're just like, okay, what is the thing? Anyway, so that's the vibes that I'm getting from this. I don't know. It looks interesting and I'm hoping that it's a wild ride. So that is gonna be the last book of the month that I'll be reading next month.
Exciting. So I'm going to be reading The Love Hypothesis, which is pretty much a fake dating for me.
Trope.
Because fake dating trope meant for me because it's pretty much follows Olive. She tells her best friend, don't worry about me. Love exists. I know I can prove it. But she's trying to, prove it by kissing the first guy she sees and, work the hypothesis on him. The first guy happens to be the hottest freaking lab professor at Stanford, and he agrees to go along with this charade.
And he's kind of mean. Like, nobody really likes him because he's kind of a boo-boo.
He's a tyrant. Yeah, so the love hypothesis, is it working? Is it not? Things will have to be revealed to me as I read it. But I look at this cover.
And then last but not least, of course, you guys know we do a Netgalley vlog each month. So I'm just going to run through these titles really, really quick. All of these books are going to be coming out in October. So of course I'm going to be reading them this month so we can get them ready for you guys for when they pub. So the first one and the one that I'm most excited about is this book called All the Feels by Olivia Dade. This is the sequel-ish from the first book, which was called Spoiler Alert. If you guys follow this channel, y'all know that I loved Spoiler Alert so much. It was such a good romance. Okay, it was like basically just about this guy who was on this TV show that was like Game of Thrones, and he ends up falling in love with a super smart girl, and just kind of like how they dealt with that. Like, I loved it. It was set in San Francisco. It was a fun time. So this one follows his co-star Alex, who is like the troublemaker in that last book, and I was like, I know he is gonna have a relationship in the next one. But if you guys haven't read Spoiler Alert, I don't want to spoil it for you, but this book follows him and kind of like his story, which is so great because he was such a fun character. Like, he was seriously such a hot mess. I was like, what is happening to you? Like, our main character in Spoiler Alert was so like cool and like collected. Yeah, and he's put together and like he knew what he was doing with his life. Alex is the opposite.
His
okay,
bestie's like, hey,
yes,
sounds like us.
Yeah, he's like, you kind of need a little help. But yeah, so I'm really, really excited for this book. Like, I think it's going to be so, like, I love the writing in the last one, so I really think this one's going to be so cute. So the next book that I'm going to be reading is called The Keeper of the Night by Kylie Lee Baker. This one I'm getting, like, huge, like, Reaper vibes because we essentially have this, like, Japanese, like, soul reaper-ish, and she's going through the streets just kind of, like, collecting souls and, like, doing things like that. And it's kind of, I want to say it's kind of like historical-y, but also it's sci-fi fantasy. So it's an Own Voices book, and I'm hoping that it has like a lot of like Japanese lore and kind of like history tied into this like sci-fi fantasy setting. So I'm really, really excited for this one, and the cover is just so cool. It just looks so good. The next one that I'm going to be reading is called Any Sign of Life by Ray Carson. This one follows a young girl who's on a basketball team, and their like team is going to state championships. She gets a little bit ill, so she has to end up like going to the hospital, and when she wakes up, everyone's gone. The apocalypse has happened. She's trying to figure out where everyone is. So yeah, like, we don't know where to go. Anyway, so obviously that's why it's called Any Sign of Life, because she's looking for any sign of life. And along the way, she finds out that maybe the apocalypse wasn't an accident. Chaos ensues. The next one is also another fantasy. It's called Squad by Maggie Takuta Hall. This one is a graphic novel. And the reason why I requested it from Netgalley is because it says Pretty Little Liars meets Teen Wolf in this sharply funny and patriarchy smashing graphic novel from author and artist. When the new girl is invited to join her high school's most popular clique, she can't believe her luck, and she can't believe their secret either because they're werewolves. They're werewolves.
Okay.
Okay, can't we get behind the cover too?
I have to read this.
Oh, you want to read this one?
With you. Along with you.
Okay,
After you. So
it's just, honestly, it was the Teen Wolf tagline.
Yeah.
That I was like, okay, you got my buzzword. That's my buzzword. Teen Wolf. Here we go. And it's a graphic novel, so I think it's going to be really beautiful. So I'm very, very excited for this one because I actually haven't read a Netgalley graphic novel arc before, so I'm just like anticipating it to be a really fun time. Okay, and then last but not least, I am definitely going to be reading The Color of Dragons. This one, let me just read the tagline, y'all, because this is how the Netgalley gets me, okay? Powerhouse adult fantasy author R.A. Salvatore and Erica Lewis deliver a sweeping, action-packed, romantic, pre-Arthurian tale of the origins of magic and Merlin, perfect for fans of Falling Kingdoms and Seraphina. This epic romance tale will enchant readers and draw them into a thrilling world of star-crossed lovers, magic, destiny, and the paths that we choose. This follows our main character, Maggie, who is magical, but she doesn't know how to control her magic at all, and she's having quite a hard time with it until she meets the king's champion, Mr. Griffin. Okay. Chaos ensues. Okay. Because I know it's gonna be like, I'm magical and like I'm dangerous, so like you can't touch me. And he's gonna be like, well, I'm the soldier. Yeah. Trainees. So I can help you. And it's just gonna be so much fun. They put the buzzword star-crossed lover, or buzz phrase, excuse me, star-crossed lovers. Pre-Arthurian, y'all know, okay?
That means heartbreak. That's what when I see star-crossed, it means heartbreak and pain.
You know, you would say that, but then you read Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, and you're like,
You have to read the trilogy, though. You know, it doesn't mean you're gonna get that.
Yeah, the payoff wasn't even that good anyway. So. But anyway, so I'm excited. Like, there's a certain sweetness to an Arthurian type of story. You know, it ain't there for a long time, but it is there for a good time. So I'm excited. This is another YA like fantasy book. So I don't know. The cover just also is so cool. Like, obviously we're gonna have some dragons up in here, so I'm real excited. I love a dragon story. Like so that is gonna be the official like last Netgalley that I'm gonna have in the vlog. There may be more, you know.
Because I don't know what I'm reading yet.
Yeah, like Monique might pick up a couple if she like mood read feels them. So just be on the lookout for that. But all these titles will be coming out in October, so that'll be great because you guys can know, you know, what's new. What's new, Scooby-Doo?
What you're looking for.
Yeah, I honestly think that graphic novel is about to be like...
I know, like, I was like, as soon as you said Teen Wolf, and I looked, because I already saw the cover, and I was like, oh, that does kind of look cool.
It's so cute.
And you're like, graphic novel, I was like, oh, that's great. You're like, Teen Wolf means Vampire Diaries? Is that what you said?
No,
Pretty Little Liars.
It's because it's like a clique, but they're like werewolves. You see how they do that? See how they get you in there?
Teen Wolf, it was a great time in my life. Like, I have no regrets.
Yeah, I was like, that was like, y'all, short story time. When we first moved to LA, we were trying to find jobs, and we were unemployed. and we were depressed because no one would hire us. So what did we do? We binge watched Teen Wolf
seasons
for like,
I was like, hey, I'm starting back this show that I liked years ago. Do you want to watch Teen Wolf with me? And there we were. Season 2 before we knew it.
Yeah.
So
Teen Wolf holds a special place in our hearts because we really needed that at that time.
We needed that friendship.
That escapism, all those things. So anyway, long story short, I think that graphic novel is going to be top tier. I'm pretty sure there might be other books that I'm forgetting, but because we are thinking about the books for the readathon.
Yeah, there might be something fun we're doing. I mean, might be. There's going to be something fun we're doing at
the end of the
second half of the month, which I'm also prepping for because I know once that's all finalized.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can plug in books that I've already put on my TBR.
That's what I usually do, but I'm like, I'm just going to leave it loose until I know.
Until we have all the plans solidified.
So that's my plan. Your plan is a different plan for mine.
It always is, really.
I have a plan. It's a plan to not have a plan.
That's a nice plan. Anyway, okay, so that's pretty much our TBR for this month. If we both can stick in a couple more sci-fis, that's what we're going to try and do for a little sci-fi reading vlog. Because I'm just really, like, in a sci-fi mood.
I'm really...
in a romance mood. Aren't you always?
Oh, and I did forget, I am doing this thing where I read a book a month with my mom. This month's book is going to be Paradise by Toni Morrison, which I said to read so I can get her back on Beloved, which is like in the same kind of series. So we're reading Paradise. It's a very popular book. It's about this community called Ruby, founded by freed slaves, and they're just, about righteousness. And it's the first line in this book is very poignant and everyone knows it. So I'm excited finish that one because I've never actually read Paradise. I've only read like Beloved, Sula, and The Bluest Eye. And Toni Morrison I consider one of my favorite authors. So me and my mom are going to read that this month. I forgot that was happening. And that has to happen because, you know, I can't.
Your mom.
Yeah, I have to read that book.
Yeah, we can't let Miss
So that
Angela
is
down.
happening this month for sure.
Cool.
And there you go.
That's the one book on my TBR is Paradise.
Yeah, the one book on my TBR for sure is Paradise and Love Hypothesis. That is our TBR,
That's our TBR
for September. The month of September is here. We've been 9 months into the year.
Do you remember?
I remember January when I was like, I'm going to read so many things. And
Yeah, remember when you were like, I can read 8 books a month, no problem.
I could then. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm going to figure it out.
You know, I think you need to read stuff that you're interested in and not make a TBR. Maybe just have a general idea, and this is part of your bookish
to my
journey.
Roots and just do what I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
So this is me past the mid-year freak out point and now realizing I've got to, you know, help us out with our Goodreads goal.
I would love that.
I'm not worried about it because in the end, I'll just sit up.
Oh, Jesus.
I will sit up for 2 weeks and I will read a book a day.
Maybe even like if you really want to
I know
read more.
that's how I am. I need the pressure. I am going to procrastinate this. I'm hoping I can only procrastinate, 20 books instead of like 40.
I just feel like maybe if you had designated reading time too, that would help you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, if anybody has any like routine tips, because time management I need to be friends with her.
I don't want to say it's an experiment, but maybe we could experiment a little and be like, okay, try this month, and then you can tell everybody how it works or something. Because I'm sure there are other people that are like you.
There has to be, because I am struggling. But,
yeah.
Okay. That is enough about me.
They're getting to see a little sneak peek of your habits.
Hot Mess Express.
Hot Mess Express. All right, guys. So that's it. That's our TBR.
Thank you again for watching. Give us a like, comment. Let us know how you're feeling.
Yeah, how are you guys doing? Are you reading? Are you in a slump?
Yeah.
How's it going?
The year is now just
the
trudging
year is
ahead.
nigh.
It's trudging ahead.
Once we hit October, it's like once October comes, it's going to be crazy. Because we're going to be like, okay, spooky season, Thanksgiving, holidays. So we're
January.
just, yeah,
and
then
starts
it'll be a
all
new
over
year.
again.
And we'll be like, whoa.
It never stops. But
we've got to wrap up.
Thankfully,
yeah, well, because we're alive.
Yeah, thank God it doesn't stop.
So there you go. But yeah, so once we hit October, yee.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say? Sheesh.
Anyway, all right, guys. So until our next video, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.